exactly the reason that we don't have enough energy that's clean. I mean, I think they're primarily responsible for climate change. That's what it looks like to me.
That's what it looks like to me. That's what it looks like to me.
One day and realize the thing you've been fighting
Hey, that's what it looks like to me.
to fix for 20 years, you had made much, much worse. Not a little bit, much, 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 much worse. Good job there, Greenpeace.
Little Woody baby.
Well, more good news. Wall Street Journal is reporting there are now a few different technologies for removing these so-called forever chemicals from our water supply.
What's that?
I guess it's really hard to filter out all the little microchemicals that last forever in our water supply, usually stuff from pollution, dumping. But apparently they have at least two new technologies. One has to do with high pressure and one has to do with some electrical process. But neither of them are yet fully economical.
Blah, 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 blah. Frickin' blah.
Safe water. Well, you're probably willing to pay a little to get that. So I got a feeling that it will be economical because people would pay a very high price for clean water.
Okay, so
that's good news. There might be a way out of our drinking chemicals all the time problem. Not right away. Not right away.
what do I need to do now?
And now a demonstration of the wisdom of my audience. Give me the answer before I
gotta figure out a way to...
That's right. That's right.
Right now these are being filled in by this template here, and we're not going to do that. We're going to use the JavaScript. I'm asking for...
Would you like to hear the question? I don't know. Maybe you'd like to hear the question. You all got the answer right, which is amazing. But what percentage of American high school students identify as LGBTQ?
It's like 50.
25%.
Jesus fucking Christ, man.
Yep.
What a
25%.
fucking joke country we live in, man.
Which is a coincidence.
Evil fucking shit, man. Evil fucking shit.
Years-long pattern of 25%.
Evil fucking shit. I said that 10 years ago.
Nothing like that. This is just a coincidence, people. 25%.
I said, well, I don't think it's just that it's becoming more accepted. I think more people are becoming that.
So, yeah, that was a CDC.
Out of, like, being encouraged to. And then I was told, no, that's not going on. It's just, you can just see it more because it's more accepted. It's still the same numbers. No, it's not.
Are you ready for this?
What?
It's low. It's way low.
What? What's low?
Sorry.
The fuck?
And when I say it's low, here's what I'm talking about. I'm almost positive it's higher in California. Almost positive. Especially the bisexual part. Because among female high school students, bisexuality is so normalized among the women that...
Yeah, especially among women.
I think it's closer to half. Probably something like half of the female students.
Anything that's put out there in the culture, the women are just going to be like, yeah, I want to do that. I want to be cool like that.
It's not the worst thing in the world, right? If you think the world's falling apart or whatever.
Why does this fucking window keep moving?
A normal high school female, completely just average person,
right,
would answer the question this way. Depends who I fall in love with. I don't know. Is that worse? Is that a sign of things getting worse or better?
Yeah, worse for
it's
sure.
It's a little unclear, isn't it? I don't know. On one hand, you have to appreciate the open-mindedness.
No, you don't.
But could it be too far?
It's not open-mindedness. In fact, it's the opposite of open-mindedness because they're just taking in whatever is being fed to them. That's not an open mind.
Predictive of where the country is going on these social trends. Would you agree with that? Would you agree that California's a few years ahead of at least
in fucked upness? Yeah.
You don't believe that?
I do.
I think there's plenty of precedent.
I believe that.
Where things start in California or maybe New York.
Okay. Yeah. So somehow I got to be able to import
I guess we
the
don't agree
data
on that.
JSON into my
All right,
JavaScript without using import.
So do you think that's a TikTok thing? How much of the
So,
25%
how do I
of
do
high
that?
school students being LGBTQ, do you think
This didn't work.
literally just TikTok? Do you
It says
think it could be
requires not
measured?
defined.
Do you think if you could measure the kids who spend time on TikTok versus the kids who don't, do you think if you asked the percentage of LGBTQ in both groups, you'd get the same number? I doubt it. I doubt it. So we now have a very clean way, I think. I mean, you wouldn't want to believe the first study you saw on it. You'd want to see if it could be repeated in different forms. But I'll bet we can now measure exactly how much TikTok changes the sexual preferences of American youth. Am I wrong? Do we not have now all the data we would need if somebody were to do that study? The data's all available. You just
Man, talk about fucked up, man.
You identify as
People in like 1994.
We're done. So do you think
people in like 1994, if they were just like given a snapshot of this,
important study, very, very obvious important study. Nope.
I go, yeah. By the way,
I'll bet you won't. You know why?
A quarter of all kids are going to be convinced that they're gay by 2023.
Whoever does that study will be banned.
What do you guys think about that?
Polite company.
They'd be like, hold on, what?
If you found
hold on,
that TikTok
what's going to happen? What's going on?
Sexual identification and preferences, it would look like you're saying that those are not real. Oh, you know what I mean? So if you said, yes, you know, the core, there's a core of it that's real, but then TikTok is causing this extra number of people who might have been in the gray area some way, is causing them to, you know, commit to something they might not have.
Rather than a Node.js environment. So the reason it works...
Think that you could do that study and get it funded and then publish it in the mainstream media?
Yeah, the reason it works over here is because this is a Node.js environment.
LGBTQ, but probably wouldn't think that at all unless they use TikTok.
Right.
Nope.
And this is just a regular JavaScript environment.
Try to hold in your mind.
And the way to fix it...
So here's today's theme. It's sort of that slow boiling frog situation.
Right.
That things get weird a little bit, and you go, "Oh, that's weird," but it's just a little bit. It's not like you're going to spend your day thinking about it.
What does this say?
And then the next day, it's twice as weird, and you go, "Well, look at that, it doubled." But it was doubling.
But I can't use import because...
So it's still not that weird. And then it gets a little bit weirder.
Because I'm not using ES6.
And we've reached a point where the weirdness is
and I can't use ES6 because the whole 11T bullshit doesn't use CS6.
Because we got used to it.
So I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place here.
All right. So the fact that TikTok is reprogramming the sexuality of Americans, and we're not doing anything
it's not
about
TikTok.
it. I mean, in all likelihood.
TikTok is one of everything else.
Right. So I don't want to get ahead of the science, but I think it's obvious.
Can I do this? Or does that fuck my whole page up, probably?
But I could be wrong. I still want the study. You know, maybe I'm wrong. Never know. But
never know.
It just sort of snuck up on us, didn't it? If this had just come out of nowhere, let's say TikTok had never existed, and it just suddenly appeared, and at the same time, all the polls like suddenly went to 25% LGBTQ in high school. What if they both happened like suddenly at the same time? Would we put up with it? No. If it happened,
yeah, they would. Nobody has a spine in this country.
That's the worst thing in the world.
They would just put up with it.
The biological impulses of our humans are going to stop reproducing.
There's
but because
we're cattle in this country. We really are.
And then this other
we're just cattle. We'll, destroy our children, destroy marriage, destroy everything.
No problem.
And we'll just keep on chewing on the grass and
that's the theme for today. They'll see
watching the fucking movies they feed us.
Rasmussen did a poll on the popularity of Tucker Carlson. 59% of U.S. voters have a favorable impression of him. 59%.
All right. Import.
I'm going to ask you another question.
Let me look at my notes.
But before I ask it, I'd like you to give me the answer. Let's see if you can do it twice in a row. Oh, you did it again. Amazing. Yeah, the answer is 25%. You haven't even heard the question. That's twice. Now, those of you who are new to this live stream, are you impressed? They're actually guessing the answer precisely before they've heard the question. And they're going to do it a second time in a row. Watch this.
Add as a function here.
According to Rasmussen, what percentage of the public have a very unfavorable impression of Tucker Carlson? 25%. 25%. All right. In another story, by the way, I guess his video got over like 57 million. How would you like to be a member of the mainstream press? You're a member of the mainstream press.
We can just get that instead.
And Tucker Carlson does a little, whatever, 2-minute video.
We'll say jobs.
In which he doesn't even make news. There's nothing specific on it that would make news.
Or you could say job,
and
Jason.
Got over 50 million views because people are so interested in what Tucker Carlson has to say. 75 million hits?
That's not going to work either.
Maybe it's more by now. But do you think mainstream media is a little bit worried about how popular he is? I'd be worried. So I still think he's going to do some kind of a debatey kind of a format, but we'll see. Here's some news in my life. Yesterday, I registered to vote. I know. It's a pretty big thing, isn't it? So I normally say that I don't vote because I don't want to be influenced by my team. But events have caused me to register to vote. So I'm a registered Democrat now. Bet you didn't see that coming. I'm also black, according to my self-identification. But I'm a black Democrat now. I registered yesterday. Now,
can I use an import statement outside of module? Okay, well, I changed package.json to module.
They already got a preview. I did a Man Cave episode last night that's available only to subscribers. And so they already know the answer. But I want to see if...
And then if I do this...
Why I registered as Democrat.
Hold on.
Can you guess? I know the locals people. Some of you know it. Why did I register as Democrat?
It erases a page I didn't want to erase.
Some say it's so I could vote in the primary and support JFK Jr.
I mean, this is like the 100th time I've tried this module.
That's a possible thing I would do, but that's not the reason. What, fentanyl? No,
I don't know what it's telling me there.
My identification
unable to load module script.
Is
well, it's not a module script, that's why. See, now that doesn't work. See how that doesn't work anymore? Okay, great. Like, how would I use this information? I don't understand. I need to use this information to run my code, but I can't use it as a module because application JSON strict meme checking is enforced from module scripts per HTML. I don't know what that means. I'm waiting on a reply to this.
I've decided to join their club so that all the racists are in the same place. And the next time they talk about me, and they do a big story and they say, this damn racist, and look at his political opinions, oh, he's a Democrat. I want, every time they call me a
That'll
racist,
get them.
they'll have to publish that I'm a registered Democrat.
That'll get them for sure.
And if it entertained me, that's good enough. So, yes, if you call me a racist, I'm going to register Democrat, and I'm going to be a proud, proud racist Democrat. I feel at home with my people this way. All right, and then I also started identifying as black again. I used to, but I'm identifying as black again just in case
this guy's out of control.
Favoritism. I just want to be well situated.
If I take this off,
sometimes they'll say,
what
well,
happens?
Maybe you should have been identifying this way for a long time. Otherwise, we're not going to give you any benefits.
Right,
so I want to make sure I get
happens.
a good track record. All right.
No, it works. Okay.
Nikki Haley is saying out loud what everybody's thinking, that Biden likely won't make it to the end of his second term. That he literally won't survive. Peggy Noonan was writing something along the same lines today in the Wall Street Journal. And of course, other people, Van Jones mentioned it on CNN, that really it's like voting for Kamala. Now, remember my theme?
Oh, God.
My theme.
That's what they really want.
Things started out weird.
Kamala Harris, the lady that gave blowjobs to all the Congress
people. And then it just kept getting
people.
weirder until here we are.
Who,
right? So here's the progression.
I don't know how somebody like that
we collectively, the United States, elected
made it through law school. Like, it doesn't even make sense.
Which I thought was a little weird. Right? He's definitely older than the optimum.
I don't know if that says.
It was a special case. And
what does that say? I mean, she's black, so she got all the help.
Blah, blah, blah. All right, so time goes by, and we got used to that weirdness, which was pretty weird. Pretty weird that they would run somebody that old just to try to get that win. But now we've actually reached the point where I can say this, and it's not a joke.
What?
This is actually what's happening. The Democrat strategy for winning is to run a guy who's going to die in office. Now, if I'd said that on the first day,
because they're really running
his first campaign, look,
the country's
long-term
fake, Scott.
strategy that involves Joe Biden.
I hope you know that. The country is totally fake.
Said, well, that's
this is a fake commercial zone country.
Literally,
this is not a real nation. This is
their strategy is to
bank-owned commercial zone territory.
That's a real thing, and we're just like talking about it like it's ordinary. And let's see, the Democrat strategy is what I'll call the die-in Biden strategy. So they went from the hide-in Biden, because they needed to hide him because he was too embarrassing to be in public. So they went from hide-in Biden to die-in Biden. Do you know why we didn't care so much? We, again, collectively, the voters of the country, they didn't care so much that Biden couldn't put two words together because they didn't see him. They just hit him.
I just clicked that and it takes me to a different thing.
He's basically on the edge of death, so they changed their strategy to, well, we're not going to say it out loud, but obviously he's going to die. Obviously, the odds are he's not going to make it all the way to the end. So really, it's about Kamala. And somehow we've normalized the idea that one team can run a guy who's going to die in office. And here's the best part. The guy that they expect to die in office, they also think has the best chance of beating Trump. That was the best they could do. So of all the 70, 80, I guess 80 million
copy JavaScript files. It's great because it does not require a bundler. Copy JavaScript files. Let me see. There are many paths available when you decide to want to start adding assets. For most projects, it is wise to let the project's complexity and long-term maintenance goals guide which approach you take. Start simple and grow to the next level in complexity when the project's requirements necessitate it. Okay. This is the simplest approach and growth way for beginners or small projects. Great because it doesn't require a bundle or any external dependencies. Blah, blah, blah. Create a bundle.js file and add code to the file. JavaScript code, okay. Use a pass-through file copy. I use pass-through with my regular JS, but whatever. We can put it in another file called bundle.js. Pass through that instead. Whatever. Reference a JavaScript file in your HTML. It's called bundle now instead of index. Whatever. Does this have an arrow? Okay. Well, what is my problem here? My problem is I need to use data.json information in my JavaScript. Okay, well then if I call it bundle.js, does that therefore mean I can use, maybe that's what I need to do. File name is bundle.js, bundle.njk. Is that what I need to do? And then I will be able to include that? Maybe. We could try that. We could try that. So instead of this, say bundle.js. Bundle.js, that's gonna fuck everything up, but that's okay. Now, let's see. Okay, I'll take your regular JS here, select all of it, copy, come over here, it's out of source, new file called bundle.js. Open it. Where is it? Hit save or paste. Then hit save. Then, which I'm not sure this part was even necessary. I probably could have just done that and then but we're just going to do it exactly the way they say. It says a template. Not really sure about that. Permalink? What does permalink do? LNY permalink. Permalinks. What the fuck is a permalink? You can customize the default location of templates in the output directory using the limited permalinks feature. What time is it? Okay.